Hi, my friends. It's Meredith, your evolutionary astrologer, and today is part two in my series of what does it mean? What is the secret sauce for intercepted signs? And in my last video, I did talk about the intercepted signs. And in this video, I want you to understand what it means to have an intercepted planet. It is big, it is huge, it is juicy. I want to first explain that intercepted signs are not a weakness. And if you don't even know what I'm talking about, please go watch that first video because they are so important. And I used Prince and I used Princess Diana as examples, and you can see the interceptions. They both have intercepted moons. You can see that in their lives so deeply. And I go into the profundity of what does it mean to have an intercepted sign. So if you feel lost and confused, watch this video and then go back and watch part one so you can really understand what is going on in your astrology chart beyond sun sign astrology, because you know we don't do sun sign astrology here at Soul Navigation. We are looking for the hidden meanings, and we are peeling the onion here. There are so many layers to teach you, and I hope that you have been enjoying my whole library here on YouTube. So let me be very clear. An intercepted sign, planet, or house is not a punishment. It's not a lesser energy, and it's not a failure. And it often, like I said before, becomes one of the greatest strengths in your life, in your chart, in your soul's journey, because it had to consciously develop. This is not where you just won the $1 million. And if you did win $1 million, let's just say your Venus and Taurus in the second house is intercepted and you won $1 million. Well, I bet you anything you had to learn big lessons around money and what real wealth actually means. So when the energy is earned, it alchemizes into wisdom. And so this is one of the wisest parts of your chart if you work with it. So how do you work with your intercepted sign? Let's go into that. First of all, do you even know if you have an intercepted sign? If you do, leave me a comment. What sign? If you have a planet, what planet and what house? And I teach you how to see if you have an intercepted sign in my first video. But first, you have to start with getting your gorgeous natal chart, because you have to see all the tiny details in your chart. Because we, like with Princess Diana and with Prince, oh my God, their signs were intercepted by mere minutes, just like barely anything. If they would have been born, I don't know, maybe even 1 minute later, 2 minutes later, they wouldn't have had interceptions. Also, interceptions only work with a house system that is willing to make your houses unequal. So this doesn't work with traditional whole house or equal house systems. You got to use Placidus, like me, your evolutionary modern astrologer, using the tropical Placidus house system. That's what we use. So let's just talk about right now. Let's dive in. I know I'm talking fast because I'm excited and I have so much to share with you. First of all, what I want you to do is I want you to write down the healthy characteristics. You can do it with just keywords. On the healthy characteristics, I should say the healthy traits of that sign that is intercepted. So you're going to go look on your gorgeous natal chart. You're going to see what two signs. If you have one sign intercepted, then the opposite sign is also intercepted always. So what is the healthy traits? Give me 10 healthy traits of that sign. So if you're a Leo, self-expressed, generous, vital, happy, optimistic, joyful, playful, creative, right? Bold, strong, fiery, speaks your mind, courageous, proud, royal, fun, entertaining. There you go. Boom. So I want you to write down 10 healthy characteristics or traits of that sign that is intercepted. And then I want you to study the house that it sits in. And I want you to use 5 keywords of what domain that house rules in your life. So if it's the 7th house, partnerships, marriage partner, any kind of diplomacy, maybe the arts. The 7th house rules other people. Okay. So now we know, okay, I have a problem or a challenge that I need to consciously work on to master it, to get the elixir. And it's going to come through the sign of Leo in the subject matter or house of the seventh house of partnerships, right? Okay. And then I want you to, this is for advanced listeners only, and we're going to go over it. We're going to go over it in this video. I want you to also now write down what is the ruling planet of that intercepted sign. So if it's Leo in the seventh house, for my example, you know that Leo's ruling planet is the sun. So the sun is your savior. The sun is the key that will unlock that door. And you've got to work with that ruling planet. That's for advanced listeners, but we're going to go over it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about yet, you will. And then I want you to notice somebody in your life that is a healthy human being, a healthy version of that sign, or somebody who is famous that is that sign. So a famous Leo or a person in your life that is Leo moon, Leo rising, or Leo sun that you like, that you adore, that you love, because they're emulating that part of you that's trapped in the closet or that was trapped in the closet. So notice that Leo healthy energy around you. And then I want you to emulate that person, and I want you to practice expressing yourself and that positive trait of the Leo. And then for advanced students, you can watch for major transits for activation periods. Basically, when the sun moves into Leo. So around July 21st through August 21st, that's an activation period for Leo because the sun is in Leo at that time. Okay, so that's how you work with it. That's how you start bringing the energy out. Now, some astrologers really dramatize the interceptions as doom and gloom, and I strongly disagree. Why? Because I have a big, fat, giant interception. My highest self, my north node, is intercepted. So how can I even access it? Well, I have to go look at the ruling planet to that north node. That would be Venus in my chart, and Venus is going to save my bacon. And I have to do Venetian things to activate it. And I have to do quality Taurus things to activate it. So I often see intercepted signs, intercepted planets, and those houses that hold the interception in them. I see them as the soul's curriculum. That's really hard to do. For me, it would be like doing, I don't know, a biochem test. It wouldn't be like a English literature class. It'd be like biochem. It'd be like engineering class for me. And this is the area of your life asking for mastery, asking to become awakened, and wanting you to hold this part of your life in your hands or in your heart. It's not punishment. It's intention, working with great purpose. And so these parts of your chart will show you where life is asking for you to try harder. It's asking for mastery, integration. Don't forget about me. Don't let me die on the vine. Breathe the light and love and life into me. There is a great awakening in here, but you have to open the door and you have to work with me. I have so much to tell you. Okay. The house matters just as much as the sign, and that is true for every reading. The house matters. You can only know the house if you have a birth time. If you don't have a birth time, get your chart rectified by a professional astrologer. I can do that for you. Connie Jo can do that for you. Just book a reading at soulnavigation.com and we will help rectify your birth time. The house matters just as much as the sign. So we're not working with planets yet, just the house and the sign. And never interpret the intercepted sign without knowing the meaning of the house. You got to know both. And the house tells you where the growth story in your life lives. So I'll just give you some silly examples. Intercepted Leo in the second house. That's going to be different than intercepted Leo in the seventh house. So this is going to have you understanding these subject matters with a delay or later in life. So you're probably going to, in your early formative years, struggle with self-worth issues. That's a second house issue. You might also struggle with just knowing, what am I good at? What is my value? What is my point? What is my purpose? And you might also struggle with money, having too much or too little money in your life, or feeling like you need more money. You're going to struggle with security, feeling safe and secure. Why? Those are second house issues. You're also going to struggle with feeling confident. That's Leo. Feeling like, wow, I can show my true self. I can be authentic. You're going to struggle with finding your own authentic self. You're going to struggle with your finding your own creative talent. You're going to struggle with revealing, here I am, this is who I am. There's going to be something about you that hides your light. That's Leo. You got it? So let me give you another example. Intercepted Leo in the seventh house. You are going to struggle with partnerships, picking somebody who is good enough for you, or picking somebody who you don't have to fix up, or picking somebody who doesn't try to dominate you in some way, or somebody who you create codependency with, somebody who holds decent, good boundaries with you. You're also going to struggle with being seen. Like, pick me. Hello, I wanted to date you. What about me? Getting the prom date, right? Being seen. That's Leo. Leo wants to be seen inside partnership, not getting eclipsed. That's the Leo part. The other part was the seventh house issues. And you're going to also probably struggle with attracting admiration, either way too much or way too little. You're going to probably struggle with false flattery. Like, oh my gosh, I just did that to be liked. I just did that to get likes. I just put that on social media to get views. I overexposed myself in some way, in order to be liked, in order to fit in. Those are Leo in the seventh house intercepted issues. So let's do another example. Intercepted Leo in the 10th house. Well, this is about leadership, public recognition, career visibility, right? That's the 10th house. And so to be seen in my authentic, rightful way and be respected for it, not selling out my career, golden handcuffs, if you will, could happen with intercepted Leo in the 10th house. The golden handcuffs. We saw that in my first video in Prince's chart. He had Leo. Virgo was the sign that was intercepted, but he had a 10th house Leo. And he did have those golden handcuffs for a while. But there will be a problem with that until there isn't. So I want to give you a little bit of a clue here, okay? We're going to go through the ruling planets. And this is where professional astrologers go really, really, really deep. So you're not going to see this on the chart. You have to know this. So always ask yourself, what planet rules the intercepted sign? What planet rules the intercepted sign? So if your intercepted sign is Aries, Mars is the ruling planet, and that Mars is going to save your bacon, just like I gave you that example about my own intercepted sign in Taurus, right? And so Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus, and so Venus really helps me. So Mars is going to be Aries key. So you have to do Mars things. You have to be courageous. You have to take risks in order to activate that intercepted sign's power and potential and alchemize the energy. Are you following me? Are you following me? Are you following me? Do you get this? Will you just let me know? I want to know, is this video too hard, easy, just right? Or it's really, really hard, but I really, really like knowing. Will you guys tell me? Please tell me. And if you love studying astrology, come study with me at the Athena Academy of Astrology. Did you know I opened up an academy? I can't even believe this. Like, pinch me. I made an academy. What the heck is going on? If you would have told me that like 20 years ago, I would have said, what? Are you crazy? I can't do that. And now I'm doing it. So, it is fantastic. We learn every single Sunday. Go look at the academy. It is so cool. I redesigned my website. Go check it out. Check it out. Check it out. soulnavigation.com and click on the Athena Academy of Astrology and just go look at it. It is so affordable. It is so affordable. And you can join today. You can just join in, do your self-paced and the rewatch links. You get them for life and then come dive in. Anyways, and And you really should get my cold readings mastery class if you already know astrology, because I show you how to find the invisible hidden powers inside your chart. Let's go through these ruling planets. So if Taurus or Libra is intercepted, you got to go look and see what Venus is doing in your chart, because Venus is the ruler of Taurus and Libra. So if those two signs are intercepted, Venus is going to be your ticket to paradise, your ticket to ride. If Gemini or Virgo is intercepted, the ruling planet of Gemini and Virgo, write it in the comments. Let me know that you know, is Mercury. Yes. So Mercury is your savior, is your golden halo. It's your Hail Mary. If Cancer is intercepted, you've got to work with the moon. So where is the moon and what is it asking you to do by sign and by house? You got to know what your moon wants from you. You got to know it, because you got to do that to open up the treasure chest of the intercepted sign, Cancer. So, and go back and watch my first video and you will see Princess Diana and Prince both have, isn't that funny? Princess Diana and Prince, both have intercepted moons, and it just breaks your heart, and you can see it. You can see it. Okay. If Leo is intercepted, it kind of breaks my heart for Leos. Tell me if you're an intercepted Leo, because that's your soul, right? And so your sun is the ruler. So your soul, your sun feels eclipsed. It hurts. It hurts for me to even say it out loud. So those intercepted Leos, oh, brutally painful. That's your whole soul. You've got to work with your sun sign. Is this exciting? Are you having a breakthrough? Are you learning something new? Tell me, tell me, tell me. Yes, no, maybe so. If Scorpio is intercepted, that ruler is Mars. And in modern astrology, it's Pluto. And in my first video, I talked about how I had an interception in the fourth house. Well, it was in Scorpio, and how I never got picked for the kickball team or the softball team, right? Well, its ruler is Mars, and Mars is your athleticism. Thank God I'm a little better now. I still probably would be last picked for softball or for kickball, but my husband would pick me for pickleball just because he's nice to me. And I'm also good at cornhole. You definitely want to pick me for cornhole, because I can get that bag into that hole. Yes. But I've had to work with it. And so Mars is the key to unlock that Scorpio. You have to become courageous. You absolutely, just like Aries, you have to become courageous, and you have to become psychologically powerful in your own life, because Pluto is the modern ruler. And I believe in Pluto. I believe in Pluto. Pluto is not diminished in my book. If Sagittarius is intercepted, Jupiter is your ruling planet. You've got to go find what Jupiter is doing, where it's at. Capricorn interceptions, the ruler is Saturn. So you got to go figure out what Saturn's doing. What is Saturn asking of you? If Aquarius is intercepted, the ruler is Saturn and Uranus as a modern astrologer. What is Uranus doing in your chart? What is Saturn doing in your chart? Are they happy? So my Mars really struggles in my chart. My Mars is really struggles. And so I had the struggling planet Mars as the key to my struggling intercepted house and planets, right? So I had the blind leading the blind. And so it was painful. It was really painful. But I'm so good today. But God, my husband once asked me, he said, Meredith, how are you alive? How are you alive? How did you live through all that? You're like a cat with 9 lives. I don't know if you guys saw my members only video where I talked about being in a fire when I was 12 years old. Like, I can't even believe I lived through that. It was so God awful. I had 3rd-degree burns all over my body, to the point where my bones were exposed in my legs. It was so grotesque and so gory. And that's part of that process. I had to redefine courage, strength, and power. And I alchemized that. I mean, that was so awful. I can't even begin to tell you, but I have a whole video on that. And maybe I will look at. I've never really looked at the depth of the progressions or the transits, but I might. But anyways, I'm just telling you that this is going to be the hard part of your life that you can alchemize and you can turn into wisdom and maybe even your greatest strength. This is very similar to Chironic work and Saturnian work. Not everybody has an interception, but go look. If you don't have an interception, go look at your siblings, go look at your mom, go look at your dad, go look at your parents and see if they did, because the story is deep. So if Pisces is intercepted, the traditional ruler is Jupiter. You already know that. And the modern ruler is Neptune. So what are those two planets doing in your chart? The ruler becomes the pathway to unlocking the sign. Yeah. There are so many more little tricks and tips and applications that I want to give you. So the one thing that I want to say is that the person who's dealing with the intercepted sign and maybe even planet, they unconsciously attract people who strongly express that very intercepted sign, that house subject matter, and maybe even the disposition of the planet. And so, for example, if you have an intercepted Aries in your chart, you are going to subconsciously, unconsciously attract really bold people into your life. An intercepted Libra person is going to attract probably charming, popular, diplomatic people, or maybe people who ride the fence, can't take a stance because they don't want to offend anybody, or people pleasers. Intercepted Scorpios are going to attract a very intense world of people, or just life, like situations that are super intense are going to show up. Intercepted Aquarius, they're going to attract really independent people who are a little bit eccentric and unique and different, kind of rebellious. Intercepted Pisces, they're going to attract that spiritual, right, dreamy people, maybe the shadow side of non-committal, or people that say they want to show up or can't, or people who are victims. So life is mirroring back to you what it wants to awaken inside of us that we don't have easy access to in those interceptions. I also have to say that when you have a transit to your intercepted planet, or even just the sign, it's very deep, but it's internalized, and it might not come blasting in. It might find you with just like a movement, like you might just feel a stomach ache or a rumbling, or like a quietness inside of you. Like a quiet warning, right? You know, it's almost like this. When I'm in Arizona and during the monsoon season, it usually is in August, but now it's happening more frequently, I could smell the rain coming 2 days ahead. It's like that. It is not some big, bold, giant externalized thing usually. Why? Because that part of you has been intercepted. So when Saturn crosses that intercepted part of your chart, it's trying to grow you, mature you. When Jupiter is there, it's trying to bring a new belief system or hopefulness. When Uranus is there, it's like an internal lightning bolt. Like you might literally just get messages drop down into you. When Pluto's there, it's like, I've got to transform this. I've got to change this. I've got to know the truth of this. And this is why a lot of people say, wow, during this powerful transit to my intercepted sign or my intercepted planet, and house isn't really intercepted, but it is the interception that lives inside of the house, just to clarify. It's like I finally became myself. It's really kind of cool, isn't it? Okay, so now everybody listen, and make sure you listen to all of these, because I want you to understand how these planets work, especially when we're talking about them being intercepted. And so an intercepted planet is a planet that is placed inside of that intercepted sign, inside that house that has an interception in it, right? So it means that this sign does not sit on a house cusp. It's not a doorway, it's a closet. And again, I use the Placidus house system or the Koch house system. That planet's energy is contained and it's internalized inside that house. It's contained and it's not gone and it's not weak. It's just sort of a hidden power that must be consciously worked with. So I'm going to go into some of the deeper definitions. So if you have your sun intercepted, this is your core identity. You guys, this is your life force. This is the gift of your soul. And so just try that on. If your sun is intercepted, first of all, please leave a comment. Second, let me know if at some point in your life, especially your childhood, did you feel invisible? Do you still feel invisible? Do you feel like you have to work hard to be seen or to be known, or have you been misunderstood? But there's this deep inner sense of yourself that's not actually easily influenced by others. Why? Because you're self-contained. And there is this there's this strength of this internal purpose that unfolds more slowly over time. And I will also tell you that there is an untapped gift, or a gift that needs to be tapped, around your authenticity. Like, it is going to be very difficult for you to be anything other than what you are. Yeah, intercepted suns are really, they formulate who they are authentically deep inside. And there's a little part of them that feels like, I don't need to show it. There's also kind of a feeling of insecurity around, why does nobody want to see it? So it's those two phrases that work simultaneously. The shadow side of this, so how it might start out for you, is that is a very painful process of not being seen, wanting to be seen, but not being seen, but not wanting to ask to be seen, and thinking those who are seen are jerks, are show-offs, when it's not even the case. It's just they don't have probably an intercepted sun. Are you getting this? I mean, it's very deep. It's kind of painful. It's like, did you feel, if you have this, I want to know you. I hope you're a member. I hope you're learning astrology with me. Just because I want you to be seen. I want you to see yourself. I want you to know yourself. This is like feeling under-recognized, or picked on even, or feeling overlooked. There's also an identity confusion in early life. Like, who am I? Am I important? Do I matter? Am I vital? And so this is a soul that must grow into its own light. It's not just handed to you for free. Okay, now, do you have an intercepted moon? So there is a profundity of emotional depth. That moon is in that 30 degrees, right? It's in this bathtub of energy. And so there's this rich internal world, this inner world. And there is this intuition, this clairvoyance, this psychic sensitivity, this magic, if you will, this otherworldly magic, this imagination, in touch with the imaginary world. The imaginary world might even be a real world for you. There's an emotional intelligence here that matures beautifully over time. There is this wisdom inside your emotional processes. The shadow side is, it's really hard, or it was. Think about your childhood and tell me if this happened. And if you have your moon intercepted, I just want to walk into your closet and hug you. But there's this difficulty in expressing feelings openly, and your emotional needs had to become suppressed. And you also might feel like your emotional needs are misunderstood, and feeling like you also are unseen, like my heart is misunderstood. I don't know why people think, I'm a mean stoic person, when really I am just so sensitive, and I'm too sensitive for this situation. So it's like your emotions can be misunderstood, gravely misunderstood, and that can be very painful. This is kind of like the person who is the silent or stoic feeler. Everything is felt so deeply, but it's not always shared. Yeah. So do you have this? Remember, Prince has this and Princess Diana has this. I hope you guys watched my first video on this, where I showed those two charts. It's very interesting. And I felt like I could just feel Diana's pain when she was like standing in the royalty, queue or lineup or reception, the reception line, right, where she was greeting people. I could feel her stoic, silent pain. There was some messaging in your life that said, it's not safe to reveal what I truly feel. So Mercury intercepted, and this I can really relate to. There's a gift with your mind, your communication, and in the way in which you perceive life or problems or people. There is a very unique and non-linear thinking going on. And there is a deep internal processor. You might even be able to predict outcomes before they even happen. There's something very insightful, and you're a very reflective communicator, a deeper communicator, because you process your thoughts internally before you say them. But maybe when you were younger, maybe until you found your voice, the shadow side of this, or where it is hard or where you had struggled, is there could be difficulty in expressing your thoughts clearly or quickly, or even at all, feeling not heard. Like, why do I raise my hand and nobody calls on me? Like, why do I say my idea? I articulate my idea so beautifully, but then somebody else comes in and articulates the idea more bluntly and they get the credit, right? Or it's sort of like doing someone else's homework for them and you're discarded, but you're the one that helped them write the essay. It's like literally not being heard. Also, it's overthinking, like obsessive thinking. This is usually a fairly brilliant mind, but it oftentimes needs time to find its ability to express its brilliance. It needs time to find its voice. So if you did suffer from this, and if you do have Mercury intercepted, when did this change for you? When did this shift? When did you find your voice? Have you found your voice? And how old are you? You guys, whenever you leave a comment, please leave how old you are. And I'm not trying to be an ageist or anything. I tell you my age all the time. I'm 59 years old. Woo, I'm going to have my 60th birthday at the end of the year. Woo, I can't wait. But I say that because I want to know what Saturn cycle you're in. Yeah, I want to know what Saturn cycle you're in. And did you guys watch that video? All the Saturn cycles? You need to know your Saturn cycles, 7, 14, 21, right? I want you to understand your Saturn cycles, 28, 29. They're really important because the Saturn shows us how you grow and your maturity. Okay, if Venus is intercepted. Anyways, that video was just a couple weeks ago, and I really want you to watch your Saturn cycles. If you don't understand how Saturn is cycling through your chart by transit, well, you're missing out. You are missing out. And it goes kaboom every 7 years. And so you need to know what kaboom are you standing in? Yeah. So that's a great video. And I want you to understand also the transits and when they touch these interceptions. It's a time when you can pivot out of the closet and into the light. So Venus intercepted. This is like love intercepted or beauty intercepted or self-worth or relationships are internalized. And there is such a deep capacity here for love and devotion. So don't think that this means that there's going to be a problem your whole life with love. You might love the person who represents the forbidden fruit, right? The person who your family or your tribe, your group deems not good enough for you or not the right person for you. You know, I don't know, maybe you're a doctor and you want to marry somebody who's the woodworker and your family's like, nope, you need to marry an engineer. Okay. Something like that, where there's this deep devotion and this deep capacity for love. And there is this refined, intense sense of what is truly beautiful and what is not. So there's a high awareness of what is ugly and what is beautiful. And it's internalized. And also there is loyalty in your relationships. There's a deep desire to be worth something. Now, the shadow side of this, maybe how it started out for you, because I hope you're in the healthy version of this. It's like there is difficulty in receiving love. There is difficulty in taking a compliment. There is a hidden or a delayed relationship pattern. So maybe it's unrequited love. There is a struggle with, am I worth anything? Would it matter if I didn't even show up? So love is learned inwardly before it is lived outwardly. Not that you're going to be Emily Dickinson, but Emily Dickinson was a spinster her whole life. I've never done her chart before. I'd love to do it. And she wrote of these great love stories and these great tales about things she never had even experienced. I think she died a virgin. I'm not sure, but she wrote these great stories about a life she never even lived. She lived them all internally. And so I'm wondering, gosh, did she have an intercepted planet? And yet, listen to this. This is so interesting. She wrote these great stories. Jane Austen, too. They both wrote these great stories just about love and relationships and life that they never lived. But because they shared them with the world, it's like they got to live those stories through the world, reading them, receiving them. And they became both very, very famous, selling millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of copies of their love stories, of their stories. So in a way, their imaginary world became a reality. It became their love life. So it's another way to think about it. There's a great capacity to love. Mars intercepted. Mars intercepted is your drive, your action, your anger, your desire. And so your gifts, when this matures, it could be this very controlled and strategic use of your energy, just like this steely determination and high focus of, I am very strong. It reminds me of like the little kid who learns how to karate chop the piece of wood and break it because they know right where to do it and how to do it. I don't even know how it works, but there's so much focus. It's like the person who can walk across the hot coals, not quick, just walk across the hot coals, not burn their feet. How do they do that? That's what this Mars interception reminds me of. There's this inner strength and this endurance. There's this power that builds and grows and matures over time. There's a high awareness around how powerful I really can be. However, in the shadow side, at first, there's a real difficulty in getting in touch with asserting yourself, with becoming powerful. And there could even be like a repressed anger or frustration, like I don't dare reveal how angry I am because I'm afraid of that power. I'm afraid of destroying or ruining everything and anything. And this kind of reminds me of, are you guys watching this? We're finishing this show tonight. It's on PBS. Oh my God, go buy the subscription so you can watch the whole thing from start to end. There's 8 series. There's 8 shows in one season, and it's The Count of Monte Cristo, and it's the famous Alexander Dumas's book. And he also wrote The Three Musketeers. Anyways, it is so phenomenal. It is so, so, so phenomenal. Go get the PBS app on your television. Go watch The Count of Monte Cristo. It is brilliant. There are literally 50,000 lessons, moral lessons in this movie. It is so artfully done. The acting is phenomenal. The main actor played in the Hunger Games. Sensational. When you watch this, I want you to do an astrological profile on every character. Yeah. Please, please, please do it. Please, please, please do it. And I think Jeremy Irons' character, brilliant. He's the one that's in the prison cell. I think he's Sagittarius, even looks like one. Oh my God. Anyways, please, will you watch it? And then comment and let me know you're watching it. And let me know the astrological profile that you think everybody is. Oh my God. Look at it through an astrological lens. But the Count of Monte Cristo, I think he has Mars intercepted. I think he has the repressed anger and frustration. And until he doesn't. Yeah. Anyways, this is a slow burn. This is a powerful, powerful person that is not impulsive and uses their power strategically. Yeah. It's really, really good. I can't wait for you to watch it. With Jupiter intercepted, the gifts in that is going to be about your personal growth, like growing into the very best version of yourself, the pursuit of truth, the pursuit of your belief system. That could be a religion, that could be a spirituality, and also you expanding your energy, expansive wisdom. And so the gift is there is an internal wisdom, a deep inner wisdom, and a philosophical depth about you. And you might gravitate towards um, philosophy, truth, beliefs, psychology, astrology. There's a spiritual growth that comes from learning, and it comes from deep within you. Like there's a craving in understanding, why do these people behave the way they do? Why do these people believe in what they do? How did the Mayan calendar get created? Who were the Mayans? You know, like just being able to step outside of your own small town thinking, if you will. And no offense to you, but I'm just thinking wherever you grew up, it doesn't matter if you grew up in Marseille, France, you know, and you're just in this little region. Like, what does the rest of the world think? What do they think in Africa or China or on a Missouri farm? What do those Missouri farmers think? Right? Or what do my Norwegians think? You know what I mean? And so there's this huge desire to go outside of yourself. There's this also this desire for understanding your deep personal truths over the dogma that you were indoctrinated into and questioning all of that. And so this is a real breakthrough opportunity. But let me tell you, at first, early in life, you might not trust the abundance of your life. You might even not you might not even see the abundance in your life. You might feel like you're blocked from opportunities. You might feel like the way in which you were raised, the belief system you were raised in is the only belief system there is. It's the only way to believe for a long time until you realize, whoa, after I got off this, this plot of land that I've been living on, and I started looking outside of my own world, and I met Giuseppe from Italy, who showed me the ways of the world. I never knew what I didn't know. That's very Jupiter. So your limited belief system will probably need to be rewritten in this lifetime. So if you do have Jupiter intercepted, I want to know you. I want to know, how did it play out? So the expansion is internal first, and then it catches fire in the world. Okay, if you have Saturn intercepted, this is about the subject matter of discipline and karma and mastery. And so your gifts are going to become this deep inner fortress of resilience and tenacity and capability. Like, you are so highly capable, and you will master your life. You will become successful in your life, but it's going to take time, probably. And wisdom is earned through lived experiences. Yeah. So each experience that you move through in life has a big lesson to learn from, to glean. And it is through learning those lessons in life that create the wise one that lives sort of trapped inside of you until it's unleashed. So intercepted planets are like unleashing the beast, right? And you need to lean into these planets, and you need to also understand the ruler of the sign that it is in, because that will be a secondary helpful planet for this planet. So we already covered those earlier in this video, but let's say you have Saturn in Aries. Well, you need the help of Mars. If you have Saturn in Taurus, you need the help of Venus. Venus has to help Saturn. So they work together. Will you tell me if you get that? Will you tell me if you're following me? Is this too hard? Tell me if this is too hard. My husband always tells me, dumb it down, Mare, dumb it down. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? Scorpio? What is a Pisces? I mean, I can do that. I have a whole playlist on all 12 signs. Do you guys tell me your comments? Where are you at in your learning? I just feel like we've been together now for 7 years. You've watched 2,000 of my videos, hopefully. Please like them if you watch them. Please hype them, whatever that means. Can you give me some hype points? I need hype points. One of my students wrote me and said, Meredith, the reason why your videos are just sort of stagnant is you put them out on Sunday and nobody has any hype points left. So if you have hype points, please hype my video. So the shadow side of the Saturn intercepted is there's an internalized fear of not being good enough, of self-doubt. You're plagued with self-doubt. And you can feel restricted, like contained and small for reasons you don't even know why. Like, I don't dare speak, I don't dare talk, I don't dare reveal. And you might also feel like your hard work is overlooked. Like, why do I always get skipped for the promotion? You know, why do my videos, this is a real question, and I don't even have Saturn. I don't have Saturn intercepted, but why do my videos not get very much traffic, and other people who are just doing something silly or stupid, theirs goes viral, right? Like, why? Why does the algorithm, not my friend? So you can feel like no matter how hard you work, there's a delayed success, there's a delayed recognition. And this is like a compression, like literally a compression, but it's the pressure that creates those diamonds. And you already know that. You already know that. But if you have Saturn intercepted, would you tell us your story? We want to know it. And tell us how old you are too. Like, have you had a Saturn return yet? Because just realize when you have a Saturn return, it's going to go into that intercepted place in your chart. Yeah. And it's trying to awaken it. It's trying to pop it out. So we need to pop it, push it, get it out there. So if you have Uranus intercepted, this is about freedom. This is about an awakening. This is about innovation. And there's this unique inner genius that lives inside of you. This is the exalted mind. And there is like a rebellion that is just stirring in you, where you're just dying to rebel. You're dying to go against the grain, and you don't want to just do a stamped out life or a cookie cutter life. There are original insights and ideas and concepts that live inside of you that's not influenced by trends. Like, you really do not belong to just hierarchical order. So the shadow side, there is a fear around expressing that eccentric, unique, different individuality of your own self, that thing that makes you just so oddly different in probably a really fun way. Or sometimes maybe you feel like you're an annoyance, or you're annoying, or your differences are annoying. And maybe the people that you live with made you feel that way, and feeling different, but trying to hide it, trying to cover it up, not accepting it. And you might see that there are sudden bursts of that popping out or revealing itself after you've tried to hold it down and hold it in. Like, me different? No, I'm not different. Oh, not at all. Not at all. Why am I different? So it's like the rebel inside of you that finds its courage to reveal itself. And this is very, 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 very powerful. So if you do have Uranus intercepted, I want to know, how did it finally have the guts to come out of the closet and express itself? Like, what was the catalyst to that? In transits to your intercepted planets will help you get in touch with showing that side of you to the world. And these are your gifts. So Neptune intercepted is about your dreams, your spirituality, the metaphysical part of life, the compassion, empathy, the imagination inside of you. So there's a deep imagination and a psychic sensitivity that when you tap into it and you give it to other people in the world, or you share it, you can really change lives. There's a really strong spiritual connection, a connection to spirit, connection to the divine, connection to the world in which we cannot see, but we know, a connection to the magic. And I'm telling you, that place is a fun place to be in. It can also be daunting and scary, but my God, how you color the world, my Neptunian people. there are artistic and intuitive gifts inside of this person. And when Neptune is intercepted, it is this imaginary world is so powerful. So I have this aspect, and I had an imaginary friend until I was about 10 years old, and she gave me so many magical thoughts. And I'm so glad I had parents that loved her with me and invited her to dinner with me. And I think she was just my psychic download. And she was just literally my best friend. She saved me, protected me. She was my favorite person because she was always on my side. And I just wonder today if she was just literally the portal, the Neptunian portal to spirit, to God. And I'll tell you her name. I don't think I've ever mentioned it before, but her name was Hildegard. Isn't that cute? My mom helped me name her. Anyways, the shadow side of this is you can feel very confused, overly sensitive, like I'm too sensitive for the world. You could get your feelings hurt at everything. You can hurt for other people. Like you can watch another person or animal suffer and have anguish over their pain, and it can be unbearable. There is sometimes a desire to escape the real world because you see the ugliness in the real world and it's unbearable. And you can even avoid the real world because it's so contaminated with grossness. There can be a difficulty in grounding dreams into reality. Something like what I experienced was, what am I even good at? How can I even monetize the things I'm good at? Like what are they? They're not even of this real world. And my mom would say to me, just keep going, just keep going. It will manifest, it will gel, it will come together. And I'm like, what? How am I going to put all of this into a thing in life? Well, here I am, right? Here I am doing just that, putting this thing into life. So this can feel very overwhelming because the person can feel at the beginning of their life completely lost, like in the forest without a flashlight. Don't know what I'm going to eat, don't know how to kill an animal, don't know how to fish, don't know how to build a hut. What am I going to do? Right? Just completely in wonderment. WTH. Like, what the hell? Like, overwhelmed. Me in this world? How am I going to navigate this big place? How am I going to put these dreams out there? What are they going to do? Right? Do you have this? Are you with me? Are you in the Neptune Intercepted Club? Yeah, it's a club. It's a real club, but I am telling you, you have amazing gifts. It's just that the real world probably ain't ready for them. You're going to make them ready. You're going to make them ready. Yes, you're going to make the world ready for your Neptunian gifts. And so you just have to stay courageous and trust. Let's talk about Pluto intercepted. So this is about power, transformation, depth, and death. Okay. And these could be psychological deaths where the death creates the rebirth, which creates the transformation. So the phoenix, it's like the phoenix inside of you is in the closet. And so what happens with that phoenix is the phoenix rising from the ash to be born again. It's like, do you realize the immense inner strength and power, the psychological insight and power that lives inside of you? It's like this ability to transform within your own self. Like, this is one of the most powerful positions in the chart. But having it be in its interception, it's like you've got to dig down into the coal mine, go down there, go down in there, go to the bottom of the ocean floor, if you will, and you have to go get that Plutonian power. And so you might feel like you don't want to do anything that you're not in control of. you might feel like spontaneity can really trip you up, mess you up. And there is a deep, deep fear of vulnerability. And there is like this internalized intensity where if it's not going to be profound, powerful, meaningful, or transformational, I don't want to do it because my life needs to be profound. And so once you activate this hidden power, it literally is life-changing. This is the life-changing, game-changing, soul-riveting, spin your soul, on a dime, power position. And it's kind of like this one requires a lot of courage. I'll tell you, Mars can also be your good friend because it is the traditional ruler, and it goes hand in hand with Pluto. But whatever sign it is in, that sign's ruling planet will be your best friend. So if you have Pluto in Virgo, well, then Mercury is going to help you with this. Your thoughts hold a lot of power. Isn't it fun to learn? I love teaching you. And I know this is a lot of information. And if you're learning this, you're really into advanced astrology. And I really recommend that you consider coming and learning with me at the Athena Academy of Astrology. And if you want, you can just take my foundations course, and it can be self-paced. We already did it. It's 8 classes. It takes you from A to Z in astrology. It's very deep. It's wonderful. It's just so good. Or you could just join the whole academy and you could do your self-paced courses until you want to dive in live with us on Zoom and just go check it out. Because if you're really digging this, you need deeper astrology. And I have a guest lecture series coming up, and we're just finishing up the generational planets. And my next course is going to be the methods course. And if you really want to understand the houses, jump into my methods course with me. And it's going to be 6 weeks. We're going to do 2 houses a day. It's deep. It's going to be really, really magnificent. So you can just go to soulnavigation.com, click on the Athena Academy, and you can see all your options and all your choices. It's so affordable because I want to create something that is affordable that all people can do. So check it out, and I would love to see you in class. And if you have a planet inside the intercepted sign, the energy can feel even bigger, like a bigger rumble inside of you. Remember, you're going to blend them with the sign, the meaning of the sign, and the meaning of the planet that sits inside that sign if you have one. And also, I really recommend that you look at your mom's chart, your dad's chart, your partner's chart, your husband, your wife, your child's chart, especially your child. If you have a child, you want to know what their intercepted sign is and if they have a planet in there. And if you're the mom and they have an intercepted moon, that's a really big deal. That is a very big deal because it's hard for them. It's hard for them. They have to kind of dig out of that house to reveal their emotions, and they need you more than ever. And remember, intercepted planets, they are not weak in your chart. They are powerful energies that often develop quietly, more privately, and in their own timing. What feels delayed can eventually become one of your greatest gifts, one of your greatest strengths, and sources of wisdom. I hope so much that this video has given you new insight into your chart. So please like and subscribe and share this with someone who loves astrology as much as you do. And if you're ready to truly learn the language of astrology, come join me at Soul Navigation's brand new Athena Academy of Astrology. And until next time, I'm here every Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, teaching you deeper astrology. Until then, just trust the timing of your soul, honor the unfolding of these astrological secrets that live inside the blueprint of your soul, and keep looking up at the stars. Right here from Seattle, my home here, to wherever you're at, I wish you the very, very best. Take good care.